come out the culture. Big shout out.
But you know, I'm not letting you jump off here. It's been big news taking place in the real estate industry this week. We can't get off of here without having a sidebar conversation of about 5 to 6 minutes to talk about what's going on. What are your thoughts? When you first heard about it coming down, what was the first thoughts that hit your mind about the lawsuit being settled by NAR? We heard about the lawsuit 6 months ago, so we knew it was taking place, but everyone was under the assumption that it was going to be stretched out for 5 or 6 years, and now we've settled here in the we settled in less than 6 months. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, as like you mentioned, this has been something that's been building for the past 6 months, so I've had quite a while to think about it, get my thoughts together, and I guess if formally, I have been most worried for those first-time buyers. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times, especially in the news media, a lot of the talk has been centered around sellers, those who tend to be more experienced, investors, those that are already on that path to generating wealth. And of course, in this country, everyone wants to maximize profits. I don't have an issue with that. Yeah. Matter of fact, I would hope that everyone who's selling a property are getting the value from those agents that they were promised during the listing presentations. Yeah. But when they talk about reducing compensation for buyer's agents or removing them from the process altogether, that makes me really fearful for those first-time buyers who need representation, consultation, they need advice, they need mentorship, they need motivation to a certain extent. And if the buyer's agents are removed from the scenario, what I'm most worried about is those same people going to online resources, AI resources, computer-generated resources, and asking them really nuanced questions that a buyer representative will be best served to answer and guide them through. I would hate to see first-time buyers purchase homes, leave out things like home warranties. That can be really, really, really important. Protecting themselves with mortgage insurance products, protecting themselves with flood insurance products. So when I hear about the NARs and dealing with the court and the settlements, those are the things that make me most nervous for the home buying public at large.
Yeah,
so
I think you touched on a lot of great points, and I think that's the biggest thing here, right? Like, you know, as we sit and we talk about this is nothing that they're disclosing is new, right? At the end of the day, in real estate contracts, it was always exposed and explained to sellers, listing agents. Listing agents always did an amazing job explaining to sellers how it is that they was compensated. They always talked about their partnership with other agents from other brokerage firms and how it is that they would compensate them from a portion of their commission. So this was not nothing new. This is not something that was hitting or that people didn't know about. In addition to that, you know, one of the things that I guess the silver lining to this situation in the world and the news media and outlets being able to talk about it is a lot of times we as realtors, we needed to always explain to our buyers anyway what our process is, what it is that looks like. I've never worked with a buyer and not got a signed buyer's representation agreement that didn't also say, listen, guys, I'm working with you, but if we choose to move forward with a property that does not, the listing agent decides that they're not going to give me a portion of their commission in order to compensate me, then right here on this part of paragraph, it says that you're going to compensate me. So it's always been that. This compensation thing has always been covered. One thing about real estate professionals or our industry itself is disclosure is everything. So we communicate on all kind of things. So there's nothing that's hidden. It's in bold. It's talked about. It's marked out. But kind of like you said, you know, I think the first-time home buyer is the one that's going to get hit from this, only because, you know, as a first-time home buyer, you know, if I get a FHA loan product, I'm trying to come up with my 3.5% down. Then I got to worry about closing costs, which can range anywhere from 3 to 6%. And now you want me to say, hey, immediately I got to pay another 3% or whatever it is that my listing agent, my buyer's agent decide that they need to be compensated in order to take care of their family, in order to, you know, be able to feed themselves and to be able to give me their knowledge that they went to school for, they've got trained for, that they continue to get educated on in order to be an amazing buyer's agent. Those are the things, right? So at the end of the day, I don't think much would change. I just think that for realtors, we'll just have to do a better job in the beginning of the process of, you know, educating our buyers on what that looks like, meaning that I may have to call this listing agent before we're able to go see this showing. So we may be out looking at properties and we won't be able to show it for an hour, 48 hours until I get in contact with someone versus, you know, being able to show it in an hour because I can call a sign and say, hey, if you don't mind. So I think those are some of the things that'll be challenged as well.
No, and then the thing is, and I want to make sure I mention this to everyone in our audience. Mr. Brooks is not only a real estate broker, he sat on the board, he's met with the representatives of HAR, NAR, he goes to Austin, he's part of TreePack. So from this standpoint, if you're a new agent and you have questions about how to best illustrate your value as a realtor, reach out to myself directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. You can reach out to the Texas Real Estate King on Instagram. We can schedule consultations and sit downs here at the Brooks and Davis office to talk to realtors and agents about how to illustrate your true value so that your clients not only feel as if they need to compensate you, but they're thrilled. They feel as if the value that you have provided has put them on a path to generate wealth for generations. And
that's what you said, Rick. That's the foundation of it right there, right? That's the real foundation of it, is that, you know, we in the public service, right? We do this for the people. Do we get compensated out of it if we do it right? Then yes, and that's in anything that you do, right? Even in our judicial systems, in our congressmen and all these people, they're compensated in some type of form if they're doing the things that they do well and they do it well for the people. So much like you said, you know, just if you need to understand how to display your value, you need to understand really what this looks like and why you don't need to be fearful. Don't be fearful, but learn how to be educated. So you want to choose, for those of you that are new agents that are going through the licensing process right now, reach out to us. Give us an opportunity at Brooks and Davis to explain to you what that dynamics looks like. Explain to you what it is that we do to help you understand your value with being a part of this team that allows you to scale. So, you know, that's my thoughts on it, Rick.
No, I want to thank you too so much because I do think it was important that we took this time at the end of today's episode for that call to action.
Yes,
so I just want to reiterate, new agents, real estate students, those that are aspiring, if you have questions about this, if you have questions on how a realtor really brings value in today's marketplace, reach out to me directly on Instagram. You can reach out to Mr. Brooks on Instagram. We will set up a formal meeting here at our office and go over all the things that we talk to our Brooks and Davis real estate family about on a regular basis. So if you feel like you need some ideas, if you need inspiration, motivation, take Mr. Brooks up on his offer, take me up on my offer. We're here for you 24/7, 365. Hey, brother, I feel guilty, man. I had you do a little extra overtime, man. It's 5 minutes of bonus basketball, brother. So I appreciate you so much, man. On behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, man, we just a text, email, DM, phone call away. Until next week at this same time, everyone in the Prime Real Estate Network audience, please be safe and be blessed.
Be blessed.